Prabhupada ki jai. So let's start. So we're going to prepare our mind for appearance of Lord Chaitanya, the most auspicious days on just coming on Thursday. Once again, I'll just make this. So let's start with this. This presentation is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, founder Acharya, spiritual master of the worldwide Hare Krishna movement. So let's start with prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Jeshwatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll just repeat the translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami Ma. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always accompanied by his plenary expansion, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, his incarnation, Sri Advaita Prabhu, his internal potency, Sri Gadadhar Prabhu, and his marginal potency, Sri Vas Prabhu. He is in the midst of them as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We'll read the translation of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The word Hara is the form of addressing the energy of the Lord, and the words Krishna and Rama are forms of addressing the Lord himself. Both Krishna and Rama means the supreme pleasure, and Hara is the supreme pleasure energy of the Lord, changed to Hare in the vocative. The supreme pleasure energy of the Lord helps us to reach the Lord. So before we start narrating the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, we'll just offer one beautiful prayer from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I request everyone to repeat after me. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Acharya. And all glories to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I just want to bring the agenda of today's class, what we're going to cover today. So we're going to cover three most important topics. The purpose of Lord's appearance in this world, Advent and pastimes of the Lord, and finally the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So the purpose of the Lord's appearance, especially in this age, is to deliver the conditioned soul who are engrossed in the material pursuit of fruitive activities. And there are Nectarian pastimes. In the second section, we're going to hear about the Nectarian pastimes of the Lord. Just like it said in Bhagavad-Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yo veti tatvataha, tektva deham punar janma, neti mameti so Arjuna. Just by absorbed in this activities or pastimes of the Lord, conditioned living entities, they get a chance. What is that chance? Is to go back home, back to Godhead. And what is the advantage of that? There's no repetition of birth and death. So here we are engrossed, or we are just, it's like going in higher planetary system or lower planetary system. It's like movement is always there. But just by hearing this Nectarian pastimes of the Lord, this movement of birth, death, old age, and disease is stopped. And further, we'll understand about the important teachings of Lord Chaitanya, which can deliver us, give a path or a road where we can travel in a safe way, just by following these important instructions and reach our ultimate goal. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always demonstrated the ultimate goal is to achieve the love of Godhead. So this in mind will start. So we'll start with first, what is the purpose of Lord appearance in this material world? Why did Lord Chaitanya appear? To understand this, let us transfer ourselves to 5,000 years back. I have one question to all of you. Why did Lord Krishna appear in this world? Online.
To annihilate the demons, to protect the devotees, and let the religious to start.
Yes. There's a verse in Bhagavad-Gita which describes that. Yada yada hi dharmasya gyanir bhavati bharata apyudhamam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham. So in that verse, Krishna is like always this yada is always followed by tada. So yada yada hi dharmasya. Glanir, this word glanir is very important. It says that whenever there is a decline in religion, dharmasya, bhavati bharata, I appear. And you can just read that. Whenever and wherever there is decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a prominent rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So Lord Krishna appears whenever there is decline in religion and increase in irreligious activities. Just like in Krishna's story, first chapter, you'll see that how Mother Earth was perturbed. And why she was perturbed? Because of demonic kings. They were in the royal order, but they were having many, their nature was very demonic. They wanted to attack unnecessarily. And that's the reason Mother Earth was fully perturbed. There's one more reason, all were untruthful. It's like they did not have they were not truthful to their words and all. And Krishna further, one more verse, he says, what is the purpose of his appearance in this material world? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So here, Lord appears to protect sadhunam. Sadhunam is the devotees. And vinashaya cha dushkritam, to annihilate the miscreant. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreant, as well as to re-establish the principle of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So Lord, each millennium he appears. And there is a speciality of Krishna's appearance. He appears each millennium. It's not that each yuga is coming. It's coming millennium after a millennium. And in further, there is a chain of verse in 4th chapter. One more verse it gives about what is the result of this activities of the Lord when we hear this. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktva deham punar janma neti mameti so Arjuna. So this pastimes is like one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, takes his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. Just by hearing the pastimes of the Lord, it's like very important statement where Krishna is saying that just by hearing the pastimes of Janma, Karma, my birth and my activities, which are transcendental, just by hearing that, you'll achieve my eternal abode, which is free from birth, death, old age, and disease. We'll go further. The question comes, why this? Why Lord appears in this material world? And there's a question that he comes millennium after millennium. So we'll understand what is this millennium means. So in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, and each yuga is divided into, there are 4 yugas. It's like this. One is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So this 4 constitutes one Divya Yuga. So this 4 together constitutes one Divya Yuga. I'll just show. And in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, or they are called as Manvantara. So, and each Manu's duration is 71 Divya Yuga. So I'm just giving you the estimate that how Lord appears in, it's like so important that Lord, especially Lord Krishna's appearance in this material world. You can see the duration. So it's like 71 Divya Yuga constitutes one Manvantara, or it's a time of Manu. And in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And I'll just give further. And now we are in the Vaivasvata Manu, who is the son of Vivaswan. And there are some calculation, like 27 into 43 lakh, 20,000 solar years are passed. So I'm giving the estimate when Lord Krishna appears. So each millennium he comes. So it's a very fortunate position of us now in this Kali Yuga. Even in Bhagavatam 12th canto, it is mentioned that Kaler doshne ide rajan hasti eko mahad gunad kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. So in this Kali Yuga is it's like a golden period. It's like a golden chance. It's like a lottery. It's where there's easily you can pass. And this, especially this Kali Yuga, is full of faults. No doubt about that. Even this verse says that Kalo doshin ide rajan hasti eko mahad gunad. So there is one very beautiful quality of this yig. Just by congregational chanting or this chanting of this holy name, one can get delivered or one can achieve the desired result. So at the end of Dwapar Yuga, 28th Divya Yuga, Lord Krishna appears. So it's on 28th Divya Yuga, Lord Krishna appears. So you can imagine the duration of appearance of Lord Krishna. And this is like it's like a golden period. It's not it's different each, but it's a very golden period. Why? Because Lord Krishna has appeared. Immediately after that, Lord Chaitanya has also appeared, who is distributing this holy name freely. So now we'll understand why Lord Krishna appears as Lord Chaitanya. To understand this, let us take an example of like Lord Krishna is called as Raso Vaisaha. He's a reservoir of pleasure. It's like a full of Sachidananda. He's an ocean of Surya of Sachidananda. Sat is knowledge, eternity, and bliss. So now Lord Krishna always he always desires 4 type of rasas or mellows. What are those? It's like dasya, it's called servitude, friendship, sakya, parental affection, vatsalya, and conjugal love, shingara, or it's called as madhurya. So with this dealing, devotees deal with Krishna. Like Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna, and Krishna takes relish in that. And further you will understand, and even gopis chastise Krishna many a times. And Krishna's covered friends, they used to climb on Krishna and play. So this type of pastimes, Krishna relishes. Absorbed in such transcendental love, Lord Krishna enjoys in Vraja with his devoted servants, friends, parents, and conjugal lovers. So Lord Krishna enjoys his transcendental pastimes as long as he wishes, and then he disappears. So this is a pastime 5,000 years ago where Lord Krishna appeared and then he disappeared. After his disappearance, when he was in his abode, he started thinking, something is missing. I I did not give something. So he was thinking in that mood. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, very nicely, even vividly, it is described. So I'll just repeat some of the words from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chira kale nahi kari prema bhakti dana, bhakti vina jagatera nahi avasthana. For a long time, I have not bestowed unalloyed loving service to me upon the inhabitants of the world. Without such loving attachment, the existence of the material world is useless. So here Krishna is giving very powerful statement. Why this material world is created? It is created so that all the everyone can be engaged in loving devotional service to Krishna. And Krishna wants that to have that to happen. And that is his mission. And that's the reason, we'll see further. That's the reason Lord appears. And he's thinking in that, he's contemplating. And Lord Krishna is not very desirous of awe and reverence, because that's a different way where someone is worshipped with even more awe and reverence, like his with full opulence, with great. It's like it's said like devotional services. In regulated devotional service, it comes in this category of regulated devotional service, where Lord is worshipped with awe and reverence. But Lord Krishna does not want that. So what does Lord Krishna want? It's nicely explained in this verse. Aishwarya Jnaneta Saba Jagata Mistira. Aishwarya Shitala Prema Nahi Mora Prita. So Lord is not desirous of awe and reverence. So you'll see. Knowing my opulence, the whole world looks upon me with awe and veneration. But devotion made feeble by such reverence does not attract me. So there are further statements from Chaitanya Charitamrita. By performing such regulated devotional service in awe and veneration, so the Lord is not attracted by regulated devotional service. Even you will see in the example of Krishna Leela, where Yagnik Brahmanas or the Yagnik Brahmanas with regulative principle, they were worshipping, they were doing yagna to satisfy the Supreme Lord. But Lord was not satisfied. Lord was satisfied with the Yagnik Patnis or the wives of Brahmanas. Just by when the cowherd boys went there for begging some alms, this Brahmanas did not give them anything. They said this all is meant for yagna sacrifice. But when that same cowherd boy requested by Krishna went to wives of the Brahmanas, they immediately supplied everything what they want. So Lord is not hankering for some awe and veneration. So what does Lord want? That's nicely explained further. Now, question may rise. So what is the result of regulated devotional service? So it is said one may go to Vaikuntha or attain the 4 kinds of liberation. So by doing this regulated devotional service, we attain 4 types of liberation. There are 5 types, but 4 types are the most prominent, which the Vaishnava cult or the Shiva or the Vaishnavas desire. The 5th one they don't desire. These are Srashti, achieving the opulence equal to the Lord. Sarupya, having the form same as the Lord. Samipya, living as a personal associate of the Lord. And Shalokya, living on a Vaikuntha planet. So devotees never accept Sayujya. However, since the Lord, that is oneness with the Brahman. So devotees never accept this, like merging into the impersonal Brahman. So I just want to remind you, this is about mukti, liberation. In this word, we all want liberation. Liberation means we want to reside in the abode of the Lord. It's like Vaikuntha planet. There's a difference between liberation and mellows. The mellows are like Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Prema, which is the highest Madhurya. So Lord is attracted by mellows or rasas of Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Lord is not attracted by this Shastri, Sarupya, Samipya, Salokya. I'll just go further. So, taking all this in consideration, Lord Chaitanya decided that just to inaugurate this, I shall personally inaugurate the religion of this age called Nama Sankirtana. And here Lord wants to establish three important aspects. One is the congregational chanting of the holy name. Second, I shall make the whole world in dance in ecstasy. You'll find in Chaitanya Leela where Lord Chaitanya, when he was in the Jharikanda forest, even the animals used to dance. So that was the potency of the Lord. And at last, he wanted to establish devotional service, realizing the four mellows of loving devotional service. And Lord decided, in that way, Lord decided, I shall accept the role of a devotee and I shall teach devotional service by practicing myself. So here, very important instruction is, Lord Chaitanya says that, Apani Acharya Prabhu Jiver Sikar. It's like Lord used to practice by himself and then he used to teach. Thinking all this, Lord appeared in Nadia. Nadia is a place in West Bengal, near Mayapur. Thinking thus, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna himself descended at Nadia early in the age of Kali. So, even in further, I just want to take you to Krishna Leela now. So, when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, there was a name-giving ceremony performed it was performed in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, because it was to be hidden. Because they were fearful of Kamsa's, he going to attack that reason. So that was done in a cow shed. So in that stage, Gargacharya or Gargamuni, and this, knowing him, Lord Chaitanya, to be the incarnation for the Kali Yuga, Gargamuni, in that context, Gargamuni predicts the future of different incarnations that this child going to take. So in that, the naming ceremony, he says like this: Asan varnas trayohi asya granato anu yugam tano shukla raktas tatha pita idana krishnantam kataha. So here, Gargamuni says that this child has appeared in three colors: white, it's called Shukla, Rakta is red, and Pita, yellow. Pita is referring to future incarnation. So now he has appeared as blackish, like a small blackish cloud. It's like in that color. So even in Bhagavatam, this same description is available. Bhagavatam 11th canto of Srimad, the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describes the incarnation for each yuga in chronological order. Bhagavatam says, Krite Shuklas Chatur Bhahu Tretayam Rakta Varnas Asu Dwapare Bhagavan Shamaha and Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam. We actually see that in Kali Yuga, Bhagavan has appeared in Pita Varna or yellow color as Gaura Sundara, although Bhagavatam speaks of Krishna Varnam. So here there is a prediction of how Lord appears. Even in Bhagavatam 11th canto, this meant there's a sloka which says Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangha Pangastra Pashadam Yagne Sankirtana Praya Yajantehi Sumedasaha. So here I want to just all can focus the one most important word, Sumedasaha, the intelligent. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam. So Krishna, the Supreme Lord Krishna, he appears as Tusha Krishnam. He's not blackish. He appears with his Pashada or the associates. And what does he do? He does Yagnai Sankirtana Prahe. He's engaged in chanting, congregational chanting of the holy name. And is like, in the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna, although his complexion is not blackish. He is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associate, servants, weapon, and transcendental and confidential companion. So this is a clear description of the how Lord Krishna has appeared as Gaura Sundara, and what are his activities. His activities are congregational chanting with all his associates. We'll go furthermore. Even in Bhagavad-Gita starts with Dharma, Kshetri, Kurukshetri, Samaveta, Yuyutsavaha. And it ends with Sarva Dharma Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So last instructions of Bhagavad-Gita is surrender unto me. Sarva Dharma Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. And once it starts, Krishna is saying that surrender unto me and just give up all different type of religions. When it starts with Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam also starts with Dharma Projita Kaitava. Just give up this cheating religion. And at last of Bhagavatam, it gives very beautiful explanation of this Harinama. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranama Dukkha Sammasham Tam Namni Harim Param. So this, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy name destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material suffering. So even Bhagavatam, the ending sloka is about chanting, congregational chanting of this holy name. And even Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adi Leela, it is saying, Kali Yuge Yuga Dharma Namera Prachara Tati Lagi Pita Varna Chaitanya Avatara. The religious practice for the age of Kali is to broadcast the glories of the holy name. Only for this purpose has the Lord in yellow color descended as Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is clearly mentioned that Lord appears in yellow color for congregational chanting, for broadcasting this message of the holy name, of broadcasting this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now let us understand the different pastimes of the Lord in the topic 2 section. So whenever Lord appears, he does not appear on his alone, or he appears with his entourage, paraphernalia, devotees. So there's like an arrangement made. So in this context, we'll read some series of verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, how this Lord Chaitanya appears. So before Lord appears, his associate appear. It's like Shri Sachi Jagannatha, Shri Madhava Puri, Keshava Bharati aura, Shri Ishwara Puri, Advaita Acharya aura, Pandita Srivasa, Acharya Ratna Vidyanidhi, Thakura Haridhasa. Lord Shri Krishna, before appearing as Lord Chaitanya, requested this devotees to precede him. Shri Sachi Devi, Jagannath Mishra. Shri Sachi Devi is mother of Lord Chaitanya. Jagannath Mishra is father. Madhavendra Puri, Kaishava Bharati, Ishwara Puri, Advaita Acharya, Srivasa Pandita, Acharya Ratna, Vidyanidhi, and Thakura Haridasa. And then Asankhya Bhaktera Karila Avatara, Shesha Avatirna Hoila, Brajendra Kumara. So that same Krishna, Lord Krishna, Brajendra Kumara, first caused countless devotees to appear, and at last he appeared himself. So here you'll see that Lord Krishna, that same Brajendra Nandana, or the son of Nanda Maharaj, he caused countless devotees to appear, and then at last he appeared. Tanra Sangi Ananda Kari Vaishnavara Gana Krishna Kata Krishna Puja Nama Sankirtana. So usually that time Advaita Acharya, who was living in Shantipur, so in his house there was constant 3 things were going on. All the Vaishnavas took pleasure in these 3 activities. Even we also should take pleasure in doing these 3 most important activities. What are those? Talking of Krishna, always worshipping Krishna, and always chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So I just repeat once again. So this Vaishnavas took pleasure in always talking of Krishna, always worshipping Krishna, and always chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this was their constant activities. So even Advaita Acharya, he used to pray to Lord Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. He's a cause of all this cosmic manifestation. So you'll see. Lokera nistara hetu karena chintana. Kemate esaba lokera hoive tarana. Seeing the condition of the world, he began to think seriously how all these people could be delivered from the clutches of Maya. So this is Advaita Acharya thinking. Krishna avatari karena bhaktera vistara. Tabe te sakala lokera hoibe nisthara. Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu thought, if Krishna himself appears in order to distribute the cult of devotional service, then only will liberation be possible for all people. So he was constantly praying for appearance of Lord Krishna. So how he was praying, that's nicely described in the next verse. With this consideration, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, promising to cause Lord Krishna to descend, began to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna with tulsi leaves and the water of Ganges. You can just see here. So he was constantly praying to Shaligram Shila, even in those days, even now, in many big monasteries and temples, they worship Shaligram Shila. It is available in the Gandaki river near Nepal. There's a river which is filled with Shaligram Shila. So Advaita Acharya is to constantly worship this the form of Krishna as Shaligram Shila with tulsi leaf and Ganges water. Seeing this prayer, the Lord in the year 1486, in the month of Falguna, it's between February and March, Lord Chitanya appeared. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So that was a full moon day and there was lunar eclipse. Usually in India, whenever there is lunar eclipse, whenever the Rahu covers the moon, so at that time, all the inhabitants, they take bath. In that auspicious moment, Lord Chaitanya appeared. It is said that that was the most auspicious time. It was same reminding the time when Lord Krishna appeared. And whole atmosphere was very peaceful. And one more thing, that time was, it was 14th century and it was ruled by Mohammedans or the Muslims. And in that jubilation or in that auspicious moment, everyone was chanting, Hari, Hari, Hari. They were loudly chanting, Hari, 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 Hari. And this vibration spread all over the universe. Even in the higher planetary system, all the demigods and all the inhabitants were dancing because this was the most auspicious incarnation and which going to deliver love of Godhead. And that same Supreme Personality is now appearing. And in that most auspicious moment, Lord appeared. I'll just go further. When Lord appeared at the house of Mother Sachi Devi, and once the Lord appeared, there was constant gifts coming from all the devotees and all. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, even the inhabitants of higher planetary system like Siddhaloka, Charanaloka and all, they used to disguise themselves as Brahmana or coward man and bring gifts and articles to be presented to Sachi Devi. It is said even the Lord Shiva and Parvati also came in a disguised form as Brahmana just to see the beautiful form of the Lord. So there are many pastimes of the Lord, which I'm going to cover in this section. One thing which we should all understand is that Lord Chaitanya is not different from Krishna. He is Krishna himself. And he's the most magnificent incarnation. And he's delivering the highest Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaude Tishe Nama. So he's the most magnificent incarnation and he's delivering what? The highest. He's not delivering some mukti or liberation or no, he's delivering love of Godhead. Now, what is this love of Godhead? What is the advantage? It's nicely mentioned even in Bhagavatam. There's a verse where it is said like, even Sukdev Goswami glorifies aho bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Vrajokasham, Yan Mitram Paramanandam, Purna Brahma Sanatana. So imagine the Sukdev Goswami is glorifying. Who is that Sukdev Goswami? He's a Paramahamsa. Is like a advanced person who has narrated Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj continuously for 7 days. And he's glorifying, oh, what a fortune. Oh, what a fortune. Of whom? Of this coward man. Means the devotees are like this friends of Lord Krishna. Why? Why they are so fortunate? Because they are associating with Yan Mitram Paramananda Purna Brahma Sanatana. So they are constantly in association with Krishna, and that is the most fortunate thing. So here also you can see all the Vaishnavas, they are eagerly coming forward to see Lord Krishna, and they want some association. And in that same verse, Sukdev Goswami is saying that who is that whom they are very much attached, or they want this association, this covered boys of friends of Krishna, they are attached to Purna Brahma Sanatana. Purna Brahma means is the Supreme Lord, Sanatana is eternal. So Lord used to in this context, how Mother Sachi used to receive all this gift. Usually Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi, they were born in a respectable Brahmana family. Even in Chaitanya Leela, it is said that Jagannath Mishra was a very learned scholar or a learned devotee who had come to Nadia. Nadia is a place, it's a place of, it's like a university hub, I can say this. Navdeep is like where all the scholars reside. And Lord Chaitanya appeared there. Then beautiful pastimes. I just want to tell you 2 more important pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So this is one pastime of Lord Chaitanya. So when Lord Chaitanya was in Nadia, in his young age, there was a mendicant, a Brahmana. Those days Brahmanas they used to travel. So this Brahmana had come to Nadia, and he used to do worship of Shaligram Shila. And usually for worshipping the Lord, he used to have Shaligram Shiva, and he used to worship that Lord. He used to prepare Naivedya. Naivedya is like an offering. So Naivedya is like an offering to the Lord. It's like 3 times, or in a day 4 times. So this Brahmana prepared an amazing feast which can be offered to the Shalikam Shila. And he got the ingredients, and he prepared, and he started offering. And he closed the altar. And immediately, because while offering, he was praying to the Lord that, please, Lord, honor this prasadam. And he closed this gate. And meanwhile, Lord Chaitanya, he was very young. He was like glory. He was this small kid. He came and he ate away. Seeing this Brahmana became very upset. But how can you eat Lord's offering? It's an offense. Then he thought, okay, once again I'll prepare. So second time he started collecting ingredients. That cooking is not easy on those days. That you have to cook in a wooden pot. You have to keep sticks. It's not like modern age where you put one gas stove and it's done. No, it takes time. It takes time. It's like a 2-3 hours process. So this Brahmana collected all the ingredients, rice, vegetables, and all. Once again started cooking. And after hard labor, he cooked some nice feast for Krishna to be offered. So he offered this time, and suddenly same Lord Chaitanya came and ate away the offering. And this time he became very upset. Thought, what has to be done now? This boy is very naughty. He comes and he eats away. So what he did at night. He thought, night I'll offer. That time Lord he'll be in sleep, and there'll be no disturbance. So he prepared his feast once again, collecting all the ingredients and all. And at night, secretly, he went inside the altar and he offered this Naivedyam. And suddenly, Lord Chaitanya appeared and he ate. And this time he became so frustrated that he started crying. Oh, what is this? And in that pitiable stage, he started crying loudly. Then Lord assumed his, then he, Lord Chaitanya assumed his original Krishna form. He appeared as Lord Krishna. And he said that I am eating that offering. You only calling me. Lord, please come and eat. So I'm eating that. So then he became very pleased, that Brahmana, that, oh, Lord, Supreme Lord has appeared and he's only honoring that prasadam. So he was very happy. And Lord Chaitanya told him that you should not reveal this secret to anyone. Keep with you. And in this jolly mood, that Brahmana went away. So now let us understand the importance, teachings of Lord Chaitanya. This is the most important aspect which we want to imbibe in us. What Lord Chaitanya taught us. Even in our temples, we all follow this system because Prabhupada brought this. Even Parampara, this system is coming. So Lord wanted this. There's a nice verse which is quoted by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Va Kalpitha Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Umarto Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhuramatamidam Tatradara Na Paraha Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam. So here Aradhya means worshipable. Who is worshipable? Bhagavan. Here Bhagavan denotes Supreme Personality of Godhead, not the impersonal or the localized aspect like Paramatma. No, here it is particularly defining Bhagavan. Who is that Bhagavan? Vrajesha Tanaya. Vrajesha is a son of Nanda Maharaj, the foster son of Nanda Maharaj. Tadhama Vrindavana. Tadhama Vrindavana means it is giving the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, its address also. Address is Vrindavana. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavana. So we have to worship Lord Krishna, who is the son of Nanda Maharaj, and the address of Nanda Maharaj is, or Krishna is in Vrindavana. And next it proceeds further. Our worship should be what level? What is the scale where we should, who is the example of our worship? Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Va Kalpita. So Ramya Kachit is explaining about the Gopis of Vrindavana. It's a beautiful understanding that like Gopis had the highest, they had achieved the highest form of worship. Even Krishna was indebted to Gopis. Now, very interesting to understand that how Gopis achieved that highest form of worship, or they were qualified in that level. That Krishna also appreciates the bhava or the loving dealings of Gopis. Even it is said that Gopis were engaged in their household duties. They were milking the cows, they were taking care of their children, they were breastfeeding their children. Even once Krishna played his flute, they used to reject all those activities and immediately go towards Krishna. And that's the reason Gopis were, they have achieved the highest perfection in devotional service. They were not attached to their, what they call their own self or extended self. They were attached to Krishna always. This attachment to Krishna is the most important thing which we also have to learn. Because this body, it goes to 6 changes and it destroys in time. The soul is eternal and soul can take solace only in serving Krishna. And further it advances. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. Srimad Bhagavatam, this spotless Purana, Bhagavatam, this Pramanam is a what they call as like is a proof. Amalam is a eternal, is like a prema pumarto mahan, and which propagates the love of Godhead. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhura Matamidam Tatradara na para. And this is the opinion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this all five things are followed by all, it is followed in the parampara, and Prabhupada has imbibed this all things. Like Aradhya Bhagavan. So we do morning Mangalarti, we worship our deities. Krishna, we worship Rajesh Tanaya. Tadhama Vrindavana. This temple is not different from Vrindavana. Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Kalpita. And in Bhagavatam it is mentioned the highest mode of worship is followed by the damsels of Vrindavana or Vrajavadu. And daily we read Bhagavatam. There's a system where Prabhupada has said that every day we should read Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. And so we'll read the translation. Lord Chaitanya therefore teaches direct worship of Lord Krishna, who appeared as the foster child of King of Raja. He also teaches the place known as Vrindavana is as good as Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna being the absolute truth, there is no difference between him and his name, his qualities, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here there is a very important statement. There's no difference between Krishna's name. There's no difference between Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's pastime. That is the nature of the absolute truth. Lord Chaitanya also teaches that the highest mode of worship is the highest perfectional stage, is the method practiced by the damsels of Raja. These damsels, gopis, are covered girls, simply loved Krishna without any motive for material or spiritual gain. So the gopis were not desires of some fruitive activities that I'll do some devotional service, I'll get this. No, they were doing unalloyed devotional service. There's a pastime where when Krishna, there's a pastime in Bhagavatam when Krishna had headache. It's said that Krishna had headache. In that time, Krishna requested Narada Muni that I want the dust of my devotees. I want the soil or dust of the devotees. So Narada Muni thought, okay, I'll get that. So he went to all the Dwarika Vasis, the inhabitants of Dwarika, that please give me the dust of your lotus feet so that Krishna's headache can be relieved. So they were told, oh, this is most offensive. We cannot do that. How can we give our dust to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So in that, they did not give that. And Narad Muni went to Vrindavana. He went to the Gopis. Gopis said, okay, you take how much ever you want. And Narad Muni was astonished. Are you going to go to hell? No, that's all right, no problem. I'll go to hell, that's okay. But Krishna's headache should be, it should go away. That's the main goal. So Gopis' main desire was Krishna's welfare. They did not have desire for their own welfare. They were in that stage. So only Lord Chaitanya says that highest mode of worship is the highest perfectional stage, is the method practiced by the damsels of Raja. These damsels of Gopi or covered girls, simply loved Krishna without any motive for material or spiritual gain. Lord Chaitanya also teaches that Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless narration of transcendental knowledge. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. It's a spotless narration of transcendental knowledge. Even Prabhupada there's a system in ISKCON that every day we read Bhagavatam, each verse. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And furthermore, it advances that the highest goal in human life is to develop unalloyed love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what we learned in this 3-4 slides back, that unalloyed devotion for Krishna is the highest, and it constitutes the mellow or rasa of 4 in number, like dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and prema or madhurya. We are not desirous of mukti or liberation, which is like srasti, or having the same opulence as the Lord, or being in the same abode as the Lord. No, our main goal is, the highest goal in human life is to develop unalloyed love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in conclusion, I'll just tell what we talked about. Due to the appearance of Lord Chaitanya is the most auspicious day. He appeared in the 1486 in a lunar. That day was a lunar eclipse, and Lord Chaitanya propagated the pure devotional service, which is unalloyed. The mellows of relishing dasya, sakya, vatsalya, and prema. And we learned about how Lord Chaitanya teaches us direct worship of Lord Krishna, who appeared as firstest child of King of Raja. He also teaches the place known as Vrindavana is as good as Lord Krishna, and highest mode of worship is practiced by the damsels of Vrindavana, the Vrajavadu. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana, and the highest goal in life is to develop unalloyed love for Krishna. And we discussed like how Lord Krishna, what is the purpose of Lord Krishna's appearance in the Bhagavad-Gita. It talks about two verses. Yada yada hi dharmasya jnanir bhavati bharata apyudhamam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamiham. So Lord appears in each millennium for two purposes. One is for establishing the religion, and second is the protecting the devotees. And there are a few confidential reasons of Lord Krishna's appearance, like he appears to propagate this devotional service. The most important is like unalloyed devotional service in the form of performing his various pastimes in Braja and attracting all the conditioned soul. It's like it said like Lord Krishna appears in his dham, Vrindavana, just to propagate or just to show us that why are you busy in this material pursuit. See this transcendental abode where Lord Krishna is always enjoying with his damsels, his friends, his covered. So with this, I'll end today, and tomorrow we'll see the various pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and relish this beautiful nectarian chapters from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which describes the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. With this, I'll stop. Any questions? We talked about yugas. Can anyone say me how many yugas are there? Can anyone tell what are those yugas? Online, not offline.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. 4 yugas, Prabhu. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga.
Yes. What is the duration of Manvantara? Anyone else? Each Manu, what is the duration of each Manu? Jagannath Prabhu, you want to tell? Big calculation. So duration of
another way which we can he told the day of Brahma, how many months? The day of Brahma had 7 months.
Yeah, one. So there's one question. In one day of Brahma, how many Manvantaras are there?
14, Prabhu.
Yeah. So this is a 71 Divya Yuga. One Manvantara.
One day of Brahma had 1,000 years.
Yes.
And since 14 Rasa, 71 is multiply that by 90.
So Lord Krishna appears in which Divya Yuga?
Oh. No,
Divya Yuga. It's online. Lord Krishna appears in which Divya Yuga?
20, 28.
So Lord appears in the end of Dwapar Yuga. It's 28th Divya Yuga. He appears. What is the thing which Krishna likes the most? In four that different mellow, in different there are two things, like one is liberation and the other is mellow. Which one Krishna likes the most?
Mathura Rasa.
Madhurya Rasa.
Yeah, so he likes the mellows like Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. He does not like. What are the five things? Can anyone say?
One is Srishti, Sarupya, Prabhu.
Shashti, Sarupya,
Shashti,
Samipya, Salokya,
Samipya.
and Sayujya. Sayujya is one.
Sayuj.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So,
For the three things that doing Advaita Acharya is also.
so what are the three most important things which were done at the house of Advaita Acharya?
Special classes.
He used to pray to Lord Krishna
That is there.
for liberation of the unfortunate souls, bro.
No.
Praying is there.
Praying is there. It's like they were doing house. Yeah. Balram, you want to tell?
He was offering worship to Shalagram Shila with tulsi and water.
That was for praying for Lord Chaitanya's appearance.
Yes.
At the house of Advaita Acharya. So there were three activities were done by all the Vaishnavas who were assembled there. Yes, bro. Hearing Krishna Katha, worshipping Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. Yes, bro. That's the three activities they were doing. Worshipping Krishna, hearing Krishna Katha, and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yes, bro. Can anyone tell me the teachings of Lord Chaitanya? There are 5 important teachings which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to do.
Reading Bhagavatam daily.
Bhagavatam is
That's not the first.
that one.
Sankirtana.
Srinivas.
Aradhya Bhagavan, Prabhu.
Yes, bro. Aradhya Bhagavan.
Rajesha Tanaya, directly to Krishna.
Yes, bro. That is one. Worshipping Lord Krishna, who is son of Nanda Maharaj.
Dhama Vrindavanam.
That's the second group. Bro. And Lord's holy name, Lord's paraphernalia are not different.
Samyaka Chitupasana, Rajavadhu Vargena Yakalpita.
The highest mode of worship followed by damsels of Vrindavan, the Brajavati and Gopis.
Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan.
Yes, bro. Bhagavatam is the spotless.
Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavatam Sevya, we will do every day.
Yes, bro.
the goal of Prema Pumartho Mahan, of achieving Hare Krishna Prema.
Yes, bro. So stay tuned. Tomorrow will be wonderful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya will be discussed. So this series will be amazing, and the advantage of hearing this pastime is that we'll develop that what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted us, the love of Godhead, and which is the highest. So I request everyone to come on camera. We'll chant Holy Name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Mahaprabhu ki,
Jai.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai.